Hello and welcome to the first update for the Fractal model in 2022. This is Fractal Model release 22.3. We're really excited about this one. Have quite a few features and updates for you. Let's jump in. So the first feature is new chemistries, as in new types of batteries. We now have, in addition to lithium, we have sodium, we have flow batteries, and we have zinc air. So let's take a look. If we go to zinc air, after a few moments, you see that the rate of return has changed. The profile of the dispatch has changed a little bit, and that has to do with the different physical characteristics of a zinc air, a little bit less efficient than lithium. And you can also go through and tweak things like round trip efficiency, of course, depth of discharge. So that's all configurable. Now, if we go back to lithium, we can take a look at some of the other updates. Next update is that the pricing calculator has been updated with new pricing. And this comes from Fractal managing a lot of RFPs. We are seeing, of course, the price increases due to the commodity prices, shipping, and just supply and demand. So the prices that are in there now reflect the higher prices that we're seeing for the next few years and for the different sizes of storage systems. The next thing that we've updated, aux load. So in storage systems that Fractal's operating with Fractal EMS, we've noticed that the aux loads are much higher than anticipated. So in a nice kind of feedback loop, we're using some of what we're seeing in Fractal EMS and the 2 gigawatt hours that we have in operations, and we're making sure that the modeling of future storage projects is reliable. The next update is a new mileage calculator. So mileage, what this is, if you have an off-taker where they're giving you a capacity payment and they get to use the battery with a certain amount of cycles, well, if they ask, how much does it cost if I do more than that? If I do more cycles than what's in the contract? Well, this is a calculator that helps you answer that question. So at the very bottom, to maintain a certain rate of return and to go from an incremental, like let's say from 200 to 300 cycles, or from 365 to 400 cycles, we calculate that for you. What we used to have to do is run 2 scenarios, do the math, work out some things in the cash flow, calculate what the dollars per megawatt hour needed to be to compensate. Well, now it does it for you. You can see in this example that dollars per megawatt hour of mileage payment, of additional payment you would need to see, is $37 per megawatt hour. And once again, this covers your profit margin. The next update is what we call SOC balance. And for those of you who have tried or who have modeled ancillaries, it's difficult to maintain the SOC of the battery. You had to do a whole lot of interpolation. Well, now it's automatic. You put in the SOC balance function, and it takes a look at the state of charge at the beginning of the hour, and it maintains it through the end of the hour. And this makes life a lot easier. Also becomes very handy when we're doing years of analysis. So under years of analysis, what used to throw the model off, if we go back to the system design, is that round trip efficiency, it gets worse over life, or put another way, round trip efficiency degrades. So now you can put in a degradation for round trip efficiency, and the new function for SOC balance takes that into account and just does it hour by hour and keeps the SOC nice and crisp. The next feature that we've added is shaped production for solar plus storage. What we've seen over the years is anywhere from Arizona Public Service, where they want production maybe during a certain 5 hours, to California utilities asking for more shaped type of delivery, to maybe utilities in India asking for power during a 16-hour block. So now you can do solar plus storage where you shape the production and you get payments based on delivering during certain production. So to access that, you'll go into your calculation mode, you'll go to high, and then you will select the shaped renewable energy and let it configure itself. And after a few moments, you'll arrive at this screen. This is a new screen within Fractal Model. This is where you can configure and kind of monitor how your build is doing, how your solar plus storage configuration is doing. Left side of the screen, you're putting in the stacks or the applications that you're going to use. So here we're going to charge from solar, that's orange, and then in red we're going to discharge. You could put in pricing for your PPA, and then how you handle excess or surplus energy above what the target production is. Speaking of, the target production is in blue. So this graph is shown for monthly totals. So, some months have 30 days, 31 days, 28 days. So the target for that month is in blue. Right now, the solar only is being shown. We're going to run the storage here in a bit, but solar only gives this profile, and we'll add storage to it to see how we do. All right, we're going to open up the Fractal Model pane. This is the add-in. So remember, in your home screen at the very right, you open this up, make sure you're logged in, and now you have access to run some of the Fractal Model features. 12 by 24 at the top. What we're saying is for this 16-hour block, the off-taker wants 50 megawatts of power during each of these hours. We're going to run the model, and we're going to see how this solar plus storage does. So we will run this first year, and after a few moments, you see how we've done here. Now, these are shown with different metrics. So the second table is the amount of energy over the course of that time slot. Then you have how much energy is counted towards the PPA in the third table. And then as we scroll to the bottom three tables, you have your surplus energy, so how much more you delivered. And if we just visualize that right quick, that's anything above the blue line. And then you have in your bottom two what your best was up to. So you could see your total megawatt hours for that time slot versus the bottom, maybe a little bit more intuitive, your average power level in megawatts during that time slot. And once again, this is your production with the solar plus storage. The goal is to hit the blue. And if we look at the cash flow is also adjusted for this new feature. So normally you would see your revenues somewhere in this area. Now there's a new section for this shape renewable energy. And you can see the first year production for the amount that you get paid for the PPA payment versus the surplus. Now all we have to do is run the rest of the years and we will fill out this cash flow. So we'll hit run Fractal Model. And after a few moments, it finishes the 40 years of analysis, fills out the cash flow, also fills out all the shapes throughout the years, and gives us, in this case, a pretty nice rate of return, for demonstration purposes only. But now you can do that kind of shaped package, whether it be for a utility in the US or abroad. And it will give you a really nice indication of how to optimize the solar versus the storage size. Well, those are the new updates for the Fractal Model. Very exciting. Also, Ravi has been creating videos for Fractal Model to help with tutorials for different use cases. So be sure to check those videos out on YouTube. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out, let us know. And if you're new to Fractal Model, we're happy to do a demo for you and your team. Just send a note to us, whether it's to one of our emails or use the contact form on the website. Have a great day.